Welcome to Corrective Consciousness, episode 182, the podcast where we explore the inanity of pop culture. I'm your host, vysethebold, and this is
Lotus Prince.
And we got another great episode here for you. We are actually going to do a year in review. What year was that, Lotus?
Well, I mean, it's only been like 2 or 3 days. This won't take very long.
Well, I will tell you about what I ate.
Okay.
I had 4 granola bars today.
Are you kidding me?
But they were in 2 wrappers, so it didn't seem...
Okay, yeah, it was a little bit deceptive.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our show for this week. Yeah.
Corrective YouTube and SoundCloud. But no. This episode I wanted to go over stuff we did in 2019, namely the games and games that we enjoyed this year, and also the games that we are basically have to go back to and still really want to play. I know I have a few, and Lotus is always like 10 years behind, so
more than that in some of the games I play.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I'm always behind too. I mean, that's just one of those things. We have a wealth of games, and a lot of them are really accessible now. So, I first of all wanted to go over quite a few of the games that I revisited. The SteamWorld games have been quite good. I actually before this year, I'd only beaten SteamWorld Dig, and I really, really enjoyed that game. But I was kind of apprehensive because the second game was SteamWorld Heist, which was a very different game. In fact, it was a tactical game. So I knew that SteamWorld Dig 2 was coming, and I really wanted to play that. But I still really wanted to beat Heist first. So I was like, I'll grit my teeth. I'm not big on strategy games, so like I was kind of gritting my teeth when I went into playing it, because I was just like, I'll just beat it. Hopefully it's not too hard, and I ended up loving it. I really, really, really liked it. To the point where it was just a lot of fun. It actually reminded me a lot about playing Worms. You ever play Worms?
Yeah, I played a bunch of Worms Armageddon back in the day. That game is amazing.
Oh yeah. Like Worms Armageddon is still fun. I played that on Dreamcast quite a bit. But I love this. And it also it's kind of like Worms. If you combine Worms and like Shining Force or something like that, or Final Fantasy Tactics or something like that, but not nearly as like crunchy and difficult. It definitely has a high like action component to it, like because you have to aim. It's definitely turn based and all that, but I actually ended up really, really loving it. And then I got to SteamWorld Dig 2, and I loved it. I definitely want to play SteamWorld Quest. That's their newest title that came out this year, and go back to that. But I just thought this was a great year where I was able to catch mostly up on those games. So I really, really was pleasantly surprised. I shouldn't really doubt them. Like I'm a little, again, I know this is stupid, but I'm a little apprehensive about SteamWorld Quest because it's not really my type of game.
Oh, sure.
Like it's like hard-based RPG games usually annoy me. Just because like it leaves it up to chance, like a lot of what you want to do.
I think I've only ever played
like Bait and Kaidos.
Yeah, I think it's just the one. Yeah, Bait and Kaidos, and I actually liked it. All right.
Yeah, I mean there have been a few. I mean there's Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories was card based.
Phantasy Star Online 3.
Oh yeah, that's
Card Revolution.
There's Bait and Kaidos. There are quite a few. I mean, there's also like the Metal Gear Acid games were like that as well.
Oh.
There's a few, quite a few of them, and there are more and more. There's Slay the Spire now, which I hear was amazing. I just never got to it. That was this year, but I guess I'm a little apprehensive about it. But at the same time, they always impress me, so I'm sure I'm going to like it because they do it better than like most of their peers.
Yeah.
So definitely going to enjoy doing that. Lotus, do you have another group of games or a specific game that you wanted to go over?
I don't even know. Like I haven't done much revisiting. I've mostly just been playing new old games.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about revisiting, I've played a little bit so far of because I started streaming it. I at first kind of pitched the idea as like a half joke, because it's just kind of funny to me. But I've recently started streaming Quest 64. Like I like the game all right when it came out, and the N64 has like almost no RPGs. So like
it's that and Hybrid Heaven, really,
and Ogre Battle.
Yeah.
Like,
Ogre Battle's like the only like
the Ogre Battle's the most legit one. Yeah,
traditional one, really.
Quest is kind of like it's very forgiving. Like the game itself can be difficult, but there's no penalty for dying.
That game kind of reminds me of Grand Stream Saga. I know that's kind of a funny thing to say, but like have you ever played Grand Stream Saga?
No, I never played it.
So that was made by the same company that made Terranigma, was it Soul Blazer and Illusion of Gaia? Mm-hmm. Yeah, those 3 games. They ended up making this other game on PS1, and it was great, but it had like a real-time battle system that kind of had like you traveled in an arena around your opponent.
Yeah,
so
Quest does that. Yeah,
it was like an action game, but it has it's an action RPG in some ways.
Yeah,
but
Quest almost made me think of kind of like Parasite Eve, in that Parasite Eve's a little bit different because everybody's moving at once, but when it's your turn to attack, you see if you hit or not. Like, you fire at your enemy, and the game just aims for you. In Quest, you have to aim yourself, but like the enemy's frozen waiting for you. But when it's the enemy's turn to attack, you can run around and just try to avoid it.
That's very similar to SteamWorld Heist. Now that I think about it, just like you can't retaliate unless you have like a retaliate like skill or something like that.
Well, in this case, there's no retaliation. You get hit or you don't. Like it's still turn based. It's just that on the enemy's turn, you can move freely and just try to avoid getting hit, which is. It makes the game more interesting. Like, it's not just like let the game play itself and see if you get hit or not. Like, you have a say in this to some degree. And
this had always been a game that you had talked about, just because it was like one of those games that you had actually beaten when you were a kid,
it's not a fantastic game, but like I have a little nostalgia for it, and it's fun enough. So I beat the first boss, the Earth guy, which is actually quite difficult for early game compared to the rest of the dungeon before him. He just hits disproportionately hard. Someone in the comment section told me that the American version was modified a little bit. Like, I think his close range attack hits harder than it does in the Japanese version, because it hits. It's like 30 damage, which in really early game, that's insane. Like, your max HP is like 50.
Wasn't that published by THQ in the United States?
Yes.
Actually, so was Grand Stream Saga.
Oh, nice. But no, actually, no. I don't. No, his damage wasn't 30. Well, I did do a bunch of leveling after dying to him, but like when I got to him the second time, he was doing like 15-ish or something, which is still a lot for one hit in combat where the only opponent is him, so it's gonna be his attack every turn. It's pretty brutal. But I beat the Earth guy. My next mission is gonna be to find the Wind guy, so we'll see how that goes. As for other revisiting, I've been playing Resident Evil 0 because I haven't uploaded Resident Evil content in a very long time. And I beat the crap out of the game on the GameCube, but one thing, I don't even know if I ever did it on the GameCube because there was no real reason to do it, but on the remaster, they have trophies, is beat the game on hard mode, and I cannot believe how hard Resident Evil 0 is on hard mode. It's legitimately difficult.
It was a pretty challenging game to begin with. It was, I think, one of the harder ones. If you ask me, probably out of like the original games,
that and Code Veronica.
I was gonna say Code Veronica is probably the hardest.
Like the funny thing is, though, after beating the game on hard, I started on normal with my knowledge of having beaten it on hard. Normal felt like a joke. Like, I was just cruising through normal mode like it was nothing. And I was like, what the hell could easy mode possibly be? And on easy mode, zombies are dying in like 2 or 3, but I'm like, god damn, like,
easy.
Normal felt like nothing, like, compared to hard mode, which is pretty funny, because when I first played the game on the GameCube, I was like, oh, this is a pretty hard game, but, man, once you do hard mode, nothing feels like it comes even close. Like, they say on Resident Evil 1 on the PS1, part of what makes that game so scary is that you're always managing ammo, because it's pretty difficult. Like, not really. Like, you can get through the game. You can kill every enemy in the game and just don't waste your ammo. And if you know where the pickups are, but in 0, I was constantly afraid that I was like this close to running out of ammo.
As an adult, I found that the Resident Evil games tended to give you the ammo that you need, and if you save your big guns for your
the
bosses, then you should be fine.
Yeah, don't use
like magnum bullets.
Don't expect this to be a first-person shooter where you always have like 50 bullets.
Yeah, you can't waste anything.
You don't have like a stupid amount of ammo. It's not an action game. But Resident Evil 0 hard mode, man, you are low on ammo constantly. In Resident Evil 1, by the way, to put things in perspective, when I was trying to make my comparison video, it got to a point where I'm like, I'm gonna just beat the damn game. I just want to get through it. I don't care. So like, I looked up a speedrun guide, like that you can beat the game in like an hour and 25 minutes, which I was actually able to. I don't know if I went that low, but I was doing like an hour 30, hour 40, like on my first try just by reading the guide. To put things into perspective on how you're not as low on ammo as you may think, especially if you could dodge some zombies, I skipped the shotgun.
Really?
Didn't even go for it. I used the pistol up through like plant 42.
Wow.
And then like used the Magnum for like some parts of Mansion 2 and then Endgame. Like just no shot. You can do the game without the shotgun. That's crazy. Without the shotgun and any of its various ammo pickups. Whereas in 0, you can there was one point in the game, where I felt like I had a bunch of ammo, and that was kind of toward the end. And when I beat the final boss, I really felt that I was on the verge of running out of ammo.
Wow.
I could not believe it. I was like, do I have to go way back to somewhere earlier in the game and find the fucking knife? Because, I was actually afraid I would have to abandon my play file, at the final boss. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
That's awful.
This game is hard, dude. It's real. This is easily the toughest Resident Evil trophy I've ever gotten. And this wasn't even doing some weird mode, like Real Survivor in Resident Evil 1. This is just play the game on hard mode. And it's insanely hard. So that was a whole new challenge. I finally got the Resident Evil experience in 2019.
Speaking of games that I need to look back to from 2019, probably the biggest game that I really really want to play and haven't is Resident Evil 2, the remake of Resident Evil 2.
I need to play that too. Yeah.
I'm so far behind in Resident Evil games. You heard me talk about all the classic games. Actually, basically all the classic games are the ones I've beaten.
Yeah, I'm up to 5. It's as far as I go.
I've beaten all of them up to 5, except for the side games. I haven't beaten the Guidance or the Gun Survivor games or any of those.
Yeah, the side games I've mostly missed. I mean, I've been slowly catching back up to them on my YouTube channel, but yeah, I did not play Dead Aim. I did not play Outbreak. For the mainline games, I beat 0 through 5, but anything that came out after 5, I haven't touched.
Yeah, so I really want to go back and play Resident Evil 2. I might even skip some games in between and go back to them, because Resident Evil 2 is really what I want to play right now, and it I have to beat 6 on my own, which is really it's meant to be a co-op game.
Well, who knows? Maybe we could LP it.
Yeah, that would be fun too.
Could we do it quickly enough so the PS3 online's still up?
I would love to do that.
Same for 5 for that matter.
Yeah, and Dead Space 3.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. We have several that we have on the back burner.
I completed a Dead Space 3 Let's Play, and then the data was deleted, so that was nice.
Yeah, so that stinks, but we can get back to them all. But I really want to go back to it, and then I'll play the Revelations games, which I haven't beaten. I haven't beaten Resident Evil 7 or 6. So
yep.
So, but I might just go ahead and play 2 anyway, just because it's so good. Apparently,
well, that's the thing. It's 2. You know what happens. Just have fun with the new experience.
It's one of those things where it's just I kind of want to play it in the order it was released, but also
But it's 2 though. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at some point you have to go say to yourself, you know what? You don't have to do homework.
Yeah.
Just play what you want to play.
But I gotta play Mercenaries 3D.
Oh, fuck off. at some point I have to be kinder to myself. Like I don't have to play all the Drakengard games before I play Nier. I mean, you do that for me.
You really, but even then though, you really don't. Like Nier stands alone. It's fine.
I mean, getting back to that, like I decided that, you know what, I'm not gonna play. There's no way I'm playing through all the fucking Dragon Quest games before I play my first Dragon Quest game.
Even though
properly.
all of the games are good, that's still punishment. Those games are endless.
Yeah. I mean, like they're time sinks. I've been playing Dragon Quest 11S, and I absolutely love it. I really, really, really love it. But it's a long game. I definitely recommend to anybody who's a JRPG fan. This is probably like the best JRPG of 2019. I mean, it's technically a 2018 game. But like the Switch version has a lot of extra content and a lot of extra features. If you hadn't played it before, or you even just want to revisit it, it's a great game to do so. Definitely do it.
Yeah, as far as a contemporary game, I think one of the only games I've played in 2019 that actually came out in 2019 was Judgment, which is a Yakuza spin-off.
I'm surprised that a lot of people didn't mention. There weren't too many mentions on like Game of the Year kind of stuff.
But that actually is a legitimate contender for Game of the Year, though. Like, that game is brilliant. It's great because you don't need to know anything about the Yakuza series.
Not a lot of baggage, right?
I think there's none, actually. I mean, like, you're still in Kamurocho.
Just gameplay sensibilities and stuff like that.
That's
maybe.
The thing, yeah. It plays like a Yakuza game. What do you expect? But, like, it takes place in Kamurocho. Like, if you remember earlier Yakuza games, you might be like, oh, that building is different from how I remember. But, like, that doesn't matter. The game is completely standalone. The fact that the Tojo clan is in it does not connect to the Yakuza series at all. The game is just in a vacuum. So
it's on
you
its
can just play
own.
it.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting premise, too, because there's, like, your main character has a bunch of baggage because his past involved being the defendant lawyer for someone who was accused of murder, and they had said in the game that, like, it's very rare that, like, in cases like that the defendant wins. But
because they put through, they only go to trial if they're absolutely sure of something, usually.
But you actually pulled through and, like, got the guy off, which was incredible. But then, like, I forgot if it was a few months or like a year later or something, that guy's girlfriend was killed. That guy's the only guy in the place. He's covered in blood. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? So, like, you weren't even really disgraced, although everybody kind of was like, that's a bad look. You were just like, no, fuck it, man. And you just, like, quit being a lawyer. So now you have the knowledge of a lawyer, kind of, and you can beat people up on the street if they attack you first, but, like, you're kind of working in a much smaller capacity. You're not in, like, the big time. Like, you're still you're working for a law agency at this point. But the plot goes into all sorts of really interesting directions regarding, like, characters you wouldn't have expected to be part of the plot, like this.
And it has detective elements too, right?
There are some detective elements where you gotta, like, check a crime scene for clues to draw conclusions, which is pretty amusing. One thing I like is that you're not Kazuma Kiryu. Like, there are some cases where, like, how many times has Kiryu had to save somebody who was, like, tied up in a room, like, the same fucking person, like, across, like, 2 or 3 different games?
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat up everybody and get this person out of here. Like, you fight your way up to the top of a building where this person's captured, and you go into the room where these guys have this person just sitting on a couch, and they're like, and you're like, you do realize that kidnapping is a violation of this article of the law, right? And they're like, what? Who's kidnapped? I don't see her tied up anywhere, do you? She could probably leave this room anytime she wants, right? And you're like, yeah, you know, if they're there under coercion, it still counts as kidnapping. And they're like, okay, fuck you, and they just start fighting. Like, it's like this little, it's little.
They're not scared of him either because he's a nobody, right?
Yeah, this guy doesn't, like, Kiryu has a reputation.
Yeah, Kiryu is the Dragon of Dojima.
Yeah, like, it's funny.
Even in the first game, people are like, ugh.
No, especially in the first game.
Yeah.
Like, the first game was when Kiryu was like,
even in Zero, people are like, ugh.
Well, people just like, you're dressed like a Yakuza, so people are like, I don't know, but, like,
look like a tough guy. Yeah.
But in Yakuza 1, they know you by name.
Yeah.
Like, like, you really get a reputation for yourself. So it's really funny to see scenes like that. Like, you know, like when you fight the secret boss of the game, he's like, I challenge you to a duel. And you're like, that's against the law, though. He's like, are you fucking serious? Like, it's so,
I know.
Yeah, it's like, really? It's so good. There's like little things like that just set it apart from the Yakuza games. It's like, you are not Kiryu. Like, it's great.
I definitely need to go back to get back to that as well. I mean, there's just been a wealth of really great games lately. I mean, we both played Spider-Man, and I think this was technically a 2018 game. Yeah,
Spider-Man was brilliant. I actually platinumed that thing.
Yeah, we both played Spider-Man. We both loved it. I didn't platinum it, but I collected quite a bit of it.
Yeah, I did the DLC too. It was really like I
didn't do that.
I was actually like, I want to buy the DLC now, and it's 3 different episodes of the DLC, but it is like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. You should play in order. They're very good. Yeah,
I definitely need to go back and do that. That's like a missed opportunity. Is the DLC? But I thought it was a great game. Probably it's up there with Arkham Asylum as like the best superhero games ever.
Well, that's
made.
What a lot of people were saying. Is like, it's the Arkham Asylum trilogy, but you're playing as Spider-Man. So like, I'm okay with that. Especially because you're way faster than Batman, because Batman like has to grapple.
And it feels like a Spider-Man game.
Yeah, Batman has to run around or maybe glide until he can grapple on some points. But Spider-Man,
he also does stealth.
Yeah, and Spider-Man though, if you get used to the web swinging mechanics, you can really move fast.
Yeah,
if you like release the web at like the peak of your arc, you're just shooting forward. It feels really good.
I mean, several of the mission types in that game were set up just to be like a playground for the combat system in Spider-Man, because it's a lot more elaborate than the Batman games.
Yes, and they actually play with this with the Screwball missions. Everybody hates Screwball. I actually kind of like her. Like her missions are pretty irritating, but I actually find her legitimately interesting as a villain because like. Do you know who she is? She is an
internet streamer.
Yeah, she's like a Twitch streamer. It's not Twitch, but she's a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, so she's really doing things for fame rather than just like stupid villainy. But
like you know what's a great way to get hits? Watching Spider-Man be awesome. How do I get Spider-Man to be awesome? Ask him. No, he'll say no. He has shit to do. I know. I'll give him shit to do. So like, these hostages will die, or this bomb is gonna blow up unless Spider-Man stops it. And Spider-Man's like, fuck, I gotta come over here and do this now. And so like, he does his thing, and Screwball is genuinely cheering him on. She doesn't actually want to blow shit up, but she will, because if she doesn't, then Spider-Man will know to call her bluff. Yeah,
there needs to be stakes.
So like, she like actually wants Spider-Man to do well at foiling her plan, because her real plan is to get views.
Yeah.
So like, it's
an interesting villain.
So she loves Spider-Man.
Motivation.
Spider-Man is like directly the cause of her being popular. It's great.
Yeah, I love that game, and I'm looking forward to like the upgraded version when they come out with that on PS5. Obviously, I won't get to that for a long time, but that's what they've been showing off on the PS5 is like fast load times for Spider-Man. You know, and that kind of thing.
What I want is fast load times for Bloodborne. It's like 25 seconds, so if you're loading from the dream into like a level.
Yeah.
Wow, get rid of that.
there are very few there aren't a whole lot of load times nowadays though. It's kind of a rarity.
Especially, by the way, I should mention, bringing it back.
Like visible load times, I should say.
Yeah, and I was going to say, especially in Yakuza 6, Yakuza Kiwami 2, and Judgment, there's a very long load time when you turn the game on, because then you never see loading games again, unless you enter like a mini game. Then it's basically
streaming, you know, it's streaming from itself.
If you enter a mini game, that's one thing, but like opening doors, just go. You know, Yakuza 0 still has load screens. Kiwami 2, 6, and Judgment, just go in a door. Like, I could not believe that when I first played Yakuza 6. It's like a whole different way to experience the game. And then when Yakuza Kiwami 2 came out, I've already played Yakuza 2, so like, let's look at that with the Yakuza 6 engine. Like, are you kidding me? So, like, and Judgment keeps going with that. It's and you could, like, kick off of walls in Judgment because your character's fight style. It's, like, you can do this in 6 as well, I think. You could, like, throw a guy through, like, a store window. Because, like, stores were loading screens. You couldn't go in there. But now you could just take the fight into a store. Like, some Yakuza games made it kind of next level, where as a heat action, you could do a little scene of throwing a guy through a glass window. But in Yakuza 6, Kiwami 2, and Judgment, you could just go. You could go into one of like the convenience stores you could buy stuff from and knock shit down. And if you do, the guy will get mad at you and you can't buy stuff there for a while because they have to like clean the store up. It's so smooth. It's great.
That's awesome.
And one of the quality of life upgrades you can earn, by the way, is if that happens, you can still buy shit there. They'll be like, "What are you doing?" And then you can just buy stuff anyway. It's great.
That is funny.
Yeah.
The other big like group of games that I was really into this year, and this is going way back. Listeners will remember that I actually started playing like the original Doom games this year.
Of course.
And it wasn't just Doom games; it was like all kinds of retro FPSs. Like I went back and
Heretic.
I ended up playing Doom 2, Final Doom. I got mostly through that. Final Doom is like what I'm on right now.
And there are 2 different Final Dooms. There's Evolution and Plutonia Experiment.
Yeah, I'm through the first one. I'm through TNT. I'm almost through TNT, and I'll be done Final Doom pretty soon. If after that, I'll get through the Plutonia Experiment.
What I love about Final Doom is it has a completely different soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
and it feels a little,
it feels different too.
It feels different, but it still feels like Doom. There's only 1 or 2 tracks where it's like, I don't know if I would have put this in here, but I'm happy that it is here.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. As previously said, I enjoyed Doom 2 the most out of everything.
Classic, yeah.
But I'll go back and play Sigil as well when I'm done that. I'll beat Sigil. I got about halfway through Sigil when I was originally playing it, but then I got sidetracked, so I'll go back to that. So I'll have most of the original Doom episodes done.
That is a good set of games to have like under your belt. Like I've beaten Doom. Like that's legitimately like a good thing.
I'm so interested that like eventually I may even like go into like fan made stuff. So
and there's endless amounts of that.
Lots of it, yeah. There are a lot of ones that like people really praise. So I can look at the cream of the crop.
Talk to psychologists even know all about that.
Yeah.
And if by the way, this doesn't quite count as a classic game for America, but it does for Japan. I was playing it from the end of 2018 into 2019. But the visual novel 428 Shibuya Scramble.
Oh yeah.
It came out in America in 2018, but it's a 2008 game on the Wii in Japan.
Yeah.
But like,
it's a seminal game though. Like,
it is. I had read that it got like a perfect 40 out of 40 in Famitsu. When I played that game, like, I like visual novels. Like, a lot of Americans aren't really into visual novels, but like they're growing in popularity now. Like more and more are being released here. Like they're definitely getting traction, probably because of stuff like 999 and Danganronpa. Like Steins Gate kind of kickstarted it a little bit for people who knew at the time, which was not me, but I do now. But like, I wouldn't put visual novels anywhere near the top things that I'm interested in playing. Like, they're not my favorite kinds of games. I find them interesting because they offer things that no one else that you don't get to see anywhere else. But I really might put 428 as my game of the year 2018. Like above everything else.
I don't blame you. I don't blame
428 is spectacular, and it actually, with a lot of visual novels, you like work your way to get the real ending, and then there's a bunch of side stuff you can do. But 428, or I always call it 428. It's really 428 because it's Shibuya.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but like it like you get rewarded for doing the side stuff that lead to like alternate endings that aren't canon, but like you knew that a long time ago going in. Like you must get the basic ending, then like the super ending, then you could look for like the goofy weird stuff. Like every time you think you've seen it all, the game just has more stuff to offer, including mini games, which really threw me off. There is an endless amount, well, not endless, but there's a lot of fun to be had in 428. Like, I'm almost afraid to play any other visual novel because like it's got to be downhill from there. Although I will say this though, on one Discord group I'm a part of, somebody had been playing the 2019 game AI Somnium Files.
I want to play that too.
You know, it's the Spike Chunsoft guy. I forgot if it was the 999 guy or the Danganronpa guy, but like one of them had made AI Somnium Files.
Yeah.
And that person on Discord was saying, "Oh, I think I might like this more than 428." I'm like, "What?" So like,
apparently AI is great. Yeah,
I've got to see this.
It's one of those games that, like, again, were released this year, and I need to get back to it.
I still gotta play Deathmark.
There's a ton of visual novels.
There's like a sequel to Deathmark that isn't a VN. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's like, you know, Occupus Trip and Occupus Beat. It's like they're completely different games. It's like, what? So I'm curious.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially in that I have Raging Loop that I need to play.
The funny thing with Raging Loop, I didn't notice until after I picked it up, but like that's made by Kemco, and Kemco releases a lot of like shovelware RPGs.
Sure, they do.
But apparently, Raging Loop is legit.
It's amazing. Yeah, apparently. I have I need to go back to that.
Yeah, I've heard that was a good one too.
All the Science Adventure games are on I have to play.
And you're ahead of me on this, but I gotta play the other games in the Nonary.
Yeah,
and I gotta play the other Danganronpas as well.
I need to go back to Danganronpa. I was playing Ultra Despair Girls, and I got sidetracked. So
apparently, I know you tend to get sidetracked, but apparently that's a thing that happens in Ultra Despair Girls.
Yeah, it's like it lost my interest. Yeah, it was one of those things. But I can't imagine the game's all that like too terribly long that I have to put up with it for too long before I can get to V3. But I also wanted to mention just a couple quick things that I want to go back to. Zelda Link's Awakening, I never finished that. I need to get back to that.
The new one?
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you care necessarily, but I noticed, because we're recording this at MagFest, I don't know if they still have it because it's been a day, but Video Games New York was selling. They were selling just the Game Boy Steelbook shell.
Yeah,
like the European only one.
That's pretty cool. No, I like that. I won't buy it, but I like
America
it.
got a really good collector's edition, but Europe's Steelbook, that just looking like a Game Boy, like damn, that was a good move.
Apparently, the House of Fata Morgana is also worth a lot of money, and I didn't even know it. And I have the limited edition of that. So
do I. Yeah, that's another one. People said that's a brilliant visual novel.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it.
I look forward to playing that as well. And the art on that thing is just way too. And
can't wait.
Have you seen the soundtrack, by the way?
It's
something fucking crazy. It's like 6 discs.
Wow.
It's like 5. Like it's 5 or 6. It's like outrageous.
I really want to play Outer Worlds. That's something I really want to go back to.
Oh yeah, like not Fallout.
Yeah, I mean,
Fallout if it weren't riddled with bugs.
yeah. Apparently, like everybody who's played that game loves it, and I love Fallout.
Outer Worlds is like Fallout if it were supervised by the fans. What if the game came out the way it was intended the first time? What if I just said fuck this and make my own game of blackjack and hookers?
Yeah, and I have to get back to Death Stranding because I only really played the beginning of the game. So
yeah, I finally got Death Stranding. My brother got it for me for the holidays. Perfect. So I look forward to starting that one as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a collective. We don't tend to play a lot of the same games at the same time, but every once in a while, it lines up like with Spider-Man.
By the way, one other thing I should mention, because you were like, "Oh, Lotus is always 10 years late." Yeah, I can outdo you on this one. One thing I got really kickstarted in 2019 was I got on a FromSoft kick. So, I mean, I played Middle Wolf Chaos, which you could kind of argue it's a 2019 game, sort of, but it's really like a 2004, because I remember it was 15 years old, right? Was it 14? Whatever. 2004, 2005. It was like an Xbox original, and it finally got localized. But, going better than 10 years, I've also been playing Kingsfield 1, 2, and 3. Fucking Kingsfield. What's funny is that I like Kingsfield's because I've already played the Souls games. I could see what they were trying to do. Yeah. The funny thing is I started as hardcore as possible. I played Kingsfield Japan. I played a fan-translated Kingsfield Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Then I played what America knows as Kingsfield 1 and 2, but what Japan knows as Kingsfield 2 and 3. And you can see improvements as you go. You can. After Kingsfield's 3, whenever I get back to FromSoft, I was actually really debating whether I should stream Quest 64 or this next FromSoft game. But next up, it's going to be Shadow Tower. I'm excited. By the way,
can't wait to watch that.
I think I've mentioned this before on like chats and stuff like that. I don't remember if I mentioned this on the podcast. Vice, you may know what I'm talking about here, but like, have you ever noticed that some games, if you're looking at somebody's game shelf, you know how there are some games that just look like they're rare? I don't know if they have an inherent look or if it's just because you've
never seen it. Or,
you've seen game store shelves 1,000 times, but not this. Like Steins Gate on PS3. Sure. You're just like, there's something different about that one. I've never seen a physical like Steins Gate. Well, Shadow Tower looks like one of those games. Like that.
For sure.
That was sold on store shelves, but look at the cover for Shadow Tower.
I never see it.
It looks like it looks like a music album. Like it doesn't look like a video game title.
Yeah, it looks like almost like a Tool cover album or something from back in the
it's
day.
like weird and creepy, but it doesn't look like, for the PlayStation 1, like it looks bizarre.
Yeah.
Like Kingsfield covers look nothing like that. Although I will say, by the way, Shadow Tower is quite expensive, but unlike Kingsfield's,
it's readily available.
Yeah, last I checked, it's on PSN.
Yep, $5.99.
Yeah, like for the Kingsfield games, you have to go find them yourself, but like maybe they're more expensive than you'd like, but they're not like insane. They're like 30, 40, $50, which is, for what they are, that is pretty expensive. But like Shadow Tower is like way up there, but PSN dirt cheap. So like if you want, like, you can't find Kingsfield on PSN, but you can find this.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you were curious to play a Kingsfield-esque game, then this is probably the only way to do it on PlayStation Network, because I don't think Echo Knight is on PSN, is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so like none of the Kingsfields, Echo Knight, like Shadow Tower's it.
Yeah, I think because Shadow Tower was actually published by Sony, I think. So
there you go. Okay,
I think that's the primary reason.
I still want to find a way to play Shadow Tower Abyss. I want to do it. I want to do it.
Well, that's pretty much all I have to talk about for 2019.
Yeah, like I mean, I've done a bunch of streaming stuff. I've done some Let's Plays. I did Bloodborne. I mean, that's gonna be the next thing I Let's Play. I'm very like I played. This shows you why it takes me long to get the Let's Plays. I recorded Bloodborne like in like January, February, like so.
But you're always releasing something. You
I
always
always
have
am
content.
releasing something, but people are like, when are you gonna play this? Like,
I already did, buddy.
Yeah, like whatever my answer is, you're not gonna see it for a while. Even if I want you to, which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm my own editor. I'm not the Game Grumps. I don't have a guy doing all the tedious busy work bullshit, and I'm just playing games and pumping them out. Like it takes time.
Seriously. Yeah, we're adults with lives, man.
I'm still pumping stuff out day by day, but like
day by
the
day.
game you're looking for, maybe you gotta wait some more.
Well, having said that, we should probably move on to fan stuff unless you have anything else to say here.
Nah, just like bunch of games. 2019 was actually quite a good year for games, and I think 2020, like just knowing what's coming out, it's looking up.
Sure.
Not to mention the Yakuza HD Collection physical. Just
plenty of
Yakuza
stuff
3.
To play.
I know it's already out digitally, but Yakuza 3, the real version, I cannot wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, but yes, we can of course get to fan stuff. So, Living Corpse has a couple comments here. The first one, God, I wish I saw Ghost in the Shell in the theater. This was a callback to when we were talking about like Akira having a theatrical release. Yeah, so sure. Obviously, Living Corpse like regrets his decision of missing the 2018 Ghost in the Shell movie.
Yeah,
clearly.
Scarjo all the time.
Yeah, I feel bad for you, Living Corpse. You missed out. But we know which one he really means. Yeah,
he's talking about the original classic.
So, he also mentions, too bad the Godzilla anime trilogy sucked. Yeah, I didn't
even know that it existed. Yeah.
Oh, you mean the Fox TV show? Actually, I heard the Fox Kids Godzilla was quite good.
Yeah, but that wasn't an anime.
No, I know, but I heard that was. I was gonna make a joke about like, oh, the Fox Kid, but that was
based off.
Apparently,
that
was actually good.
Movie.
Yeah, it was still good.
Yeah.
Honestly, people shit on the Matthew Broderick movie because it's a terrible Godzilla movie, and it is. But I actually like the movie as just like a B monster movie. Like I like legitimate. Like I don't even like ironically enjoy it. Like I actually like it. Like as long as you're not like, this is what I know to be a Godzilla movie, and then you watch that you're gonna have a bad time. It's like Skull Island. It's not a very good King Kong movie, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people like Skull Island.
Yeah, it's like stupid B movie schlock, and that's what it's trying to be. But like as a King Kong movie with themes, like nah. So anyway, Godzilla and anime, two of the most Japanese things ever. This should go together as well as chocolate and peanut butter. Too bad the director was more interested in exploring the character of the main guy, who, they keep fucking doing that, whose only character trait seems to be revenge and nothing else. I wouldn't mind the generic protagonist if Godzilla and the other monsters weren't afterthoughts who were treated as plot devices instead of characters. Or if it wasn't Mechagodzilla and King Ghidorah yet again. That is true. I know they're the most popular characters, but like you start to get tired of them when that's all you get.
Sure.
Who are oversaturating the market like Joker does Batman stuff. Yeah. Also not a fan of changing Godzilla from a dinosaur to a plant. I'll take your word on that. It felt like Polygon Pictures was making something else, got hired by Toho, and just shoehorned Godzilla in like so many Hellraiser movie scripts. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. Remember that time Hellraiser, 4, wasn't even originally going to be a Hellraiser movie? One of the Hellraiser movies was like appropriated into a Hellraiser movie.
None of the Die Hard movies were ever Die Hard movies.
Really?
Except for the 5th one, I think.
That's great. The one that sucks.
Even the first one was meant to be a sequel to another movie that...
Even Troll 2 was supposed to capitalize on the Troll name.
Die Hard actually started off as a sequel to a Frank Sinatra movie.
Nice.
And they even asked him, and he was just like, I'm old. No.
That's great.
It was like one of those things like, we have to ask you kind of things.
So anyway, he says, here's hoping the next time Toho hires someone to make a Godzilla anime, it's someone more like Madhouse. Oh my fucking god. Do you know Madhouse?
Yeah, I love Madhouse.
They're
the ones who did Redline, right?
I thought that was more of a personal thing.
No.
Redline was like anime. I don't remember. I know, but
was that Sunrise? That might have been Sunrise. I don't know.
I could believe it being Sunrise, but Madhouse is legit. They're one of the best animation studios there is.
Oh, sure.
It's like, Trigger and Gainax and like Madhouse. Like Madhouse, did you ever watch any of the boxing anime Hajime no Ippo?
A little bit, yeah. When he fights the bear. I
Yeah, that was Madhouse. What I recommend you do is look up the fight. The actual whole fight is like multiple episodes, but look up the end of the fight between Takamura, he's the guy who fought the bear, and Hawk. It's like a champion match, and there's a scene where like Takamura goes berserk and just like wails on the guy, and like, I mean, across the whole series you could say this anyway, but this particular scene, like when Madhouse animates fight scenes, like Madhouse generally has really good animation, but when they do fight scenes, those hits look like they fucking hurt.
I'm sure.
Like same goes for Hunter x Hunter. Madhouse did Hunter x Hunter. Look up like Gon versus Hiska in the tournament. Jesus Christ! Like some of those hits are just brutal. Anyway, Living Corpse also says, I don't care how other people play a game. This is regarding our corrective consciousness with cheating and such. I don't care how other people play a game. Excuse me. We're trying to find the comment. I might tell them about something they can do or a weapon they can unlock they might not know about, but I'm not telling them how to play the game. I'm just giving them trivia, which brings up something I find annoying. When I'll leave a comment about a game, maybe answer a question, and the Let's Player responds with, don't tell me how to play the game, but that same Let's Player will name someone in the video that told them something about the game. Oh, that's a pain in the ass. I mean, I understand that, like, the logic behind that, if it's like plot stuff they didn't want to know about, but that's not how to play, though. I get, like, it's one thing if the player asks for something and they're answered, but inconsistency I do find frustrating with that kind of attitude. Okay, maybe tell me how I can word it so I'm less annoying? Or better yet, stop acting like, well, actually, is someone trying to flex their brain power on you? Sometimes people just like to be informative and help others. Yeah, I do understand that. Sometimes people are like, hey, you might benefit from this if you do this or that, instead of, like, backseat gaming. There is a nuance to it. I will say this. One thing that does actually piss me off is when people say, oh, you forgot to do or mention this. That just pisses me off because it is highly unlikely that I was going to and then I forgot. Usually I just didn't know. Like, especially, you get this all the time when you see, like, videos with facts and trivia. You forgot that. I fucking forgot. Like, it was in my script and it just slipped my mind. Get the fuck out of here.
Sometimes even with you, it's like, I haven't even gotten to it, and you wrote this comment that is no longer relevant. Like,
I don't know if I could think of an example of that.
Sometimes that happens. It's just like, oh no, I said it later on.
I mean, one thing I do get all the time, and I understand why I do, is someone goes, oh, don't forget to do this or that, or you should do this or that, but like,
yeah,
but it's on a Let's Play I recorded like months ago. Like, it's all set in stone. I can't change anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for example, Bloodborne. Like, it's over. It's been over. Like, so anything that happens,
it has ceased to be.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I will make stupid mistakes in the Let's Play. I apologize. I can't do anything about it. It's done. And like, that's the thing with the Souls games, especially if I'm playing blind. I look back at my earlier episodes, like episode 1 and 2, where I'm like tentatively like, how do I navigate this area? But by the time I'm in the editing stage, I've already gotten the platinum, so I'm just sweeping the game.
Sure.
So like, I just beat the shit out of this game, and I go back to my Let's Play, and I'm like, oh, is there anything around the corner? I don't know. I'm being hesitant. I'm like, go. I'm like yelling at myself. All right, so Tobias Renner says, "Hey guys,
newcomer, I believe.
I think so. Yeah, welcome." He says, "Been listening to the cast for probably a year now, so I guess welcome to the comments.
Yeah.
Can only say keep it up. I read the branching comments on that tweet from Mike Matei regarding the exploiting and cheating in gaming for probably an hour. Honestly, knowing his streams, he should have just said something like, 'Don't come up to me on stream boasting about beating NES games when I'm going purist on them.'" Well, that I understand. It's like, haha, I beat the game, and like I mean,
nobody's doing that. Like
that's the thing. Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like with the last podcast was like, if you're joining an esport and you cheated your way to like first place, that's some bullshit. Or if you're or if you're bragging about how talented you are when you remember how I mentioned Mario World? I like warp whistled my way through that whole game.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna brag about how I beat Mario World. Yeah. Like, I mean, I did beat it, but I'm not going to go like, oh, look at that. Like, I beat it just like everyone else. I'm so good. Like,
sure.
I skipped like 80% of the game or maybe more.
Yeah.
So
what I like to do.
Yeah, so that's probably where he is coming from. Yes, I agree. That probably is where he's coming from. Sure would have been nice if he made that clear instead of using the rewind feature to continue to play the game legitimately is not by any stretch of the imagination beating the game. I don't know. I stretched a little bit and I can picture it.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is like what I like to do in Mario 3 is get all 3 warp whistles and not use them. That's just a fun thing to do.
You found the secret. Now play the game.
Yeah. Like I intentionally beat all the levels, even the ones I could skip.
That is kind of how I play a bunch of games. When you find the unique superpower item, but I don't want to use it because then it disappears from my inventory.
No, I just find that as a fun way to like say that I really know this game and.
Oh sure, all the exploration. All the exploration.
Yep.
Also, Tobias says, I did the same thing as Lotus with FPS games in the 90s. Meaning, just put on invincibilities and maybe all weapons or something, and then just...
Sure. Coast through it.
Yeah, not clip through the level. Like, find your way through legitimately, but not worry about dying ever.
Sure.
So it says, I couldn't get through Heretic 1 without cheats. Holy shit. Is this like the third person in the world who's played Heretic?
Yeah, seriously.
Actually, that's not true. I saw a GDQ runner play Heretic. So there are 4 people who have ever played Heretic.
I'm actually really enjoying Heretic. I'm going to go back to that once I'm done with the Doom games because it has its own feel. It's not like medieval Doom. It really isn't.
Here's a question. Does Tobias mention this? Those games go on forever and I just want to be done with them at that point. Okay, I'm just curious. Vice I've already asked about. I know he hasn't tried cheating on Heretic. Have you ever tried cheating on Heretic? Let me know how that went the first time you did it.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Do it. Yeah, and Tobias as well. Let me know if you ever tried cheating on Heretic. How that went. I'm very curious.
Sure.
Anyway, we'll talk about that once Vice has done it. Anyway, those games go on forever. You just want to be done with them at some point. Yeah, especially the more maze levels of Doom. I think that's the factor holding a lot of these older FPS titles back. Just like with the ultra-hard NES, SNES games, something like Dusk kept me going the whole time because it had so much variety in level design and enemy encounters. Yeah, instead of like, where's the damn key card? I've been running around in circles for an hour.
Yeah, Tobias, we should talk a little bit more about you and me about some of the classic games here because the classic FPSs because I'm really getting into them. I played a little bit of Dusk and Medieval last couple weeks and I've really enjoed them.
And I know it's not quite as classic, but you got to do Duke Nukem.
Oh yeah, no, I played that.
Like
I played through the first episode.
LA Meltdown.
Yeah, now I'm in space. So yeah.
Lunar Apocalypse.
Yeah.
The level aesthetic wasn't as varied as LA Meltdown, but it had really cool individual moments, like going from one ship to another. It was really cool.
It is cool.
So yeah, the final thing Tobias says is Happy New Year, looking forward to each new episode. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you and all the listeners as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and we look forward to more comments from you later.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So School Filmer says... another fine episode, you two. Why, thank you. I do remember, because we're talking about the obscure games, I do remember some other once obscure game I found way back then. Poinies, like Poin, Poinies, Poin on the PS2. I
have no idea about this one.
Was this like a regional exclusive thing? Because I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
At the time, there were no full playthroughs, but now there are only a few of them. It's delightfully weird, and surprisingly, the game is not only in Japanese. Oh, there you go. So I guess it's a Japanese game. But it can also be played in English, complete with an English voice track. Also, Kim the Bold. I like the ring of it, but I better not step on Vice's toes. Anyway, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, once again, Happy New Year to you too. Dracologist says, as a kid, I have been IDDQDing like a mofo. Yeah, that would be the invincibility code for Doom. ID. Every code in Doom starts with ID. DQD. I forgot that. I think that has some significance. I forgot what it was. Like IDKFA, for example, is keys, full ammo, stuff like that.
Sure.
And I think even the clipping code, there's ID clip, but in Doom 1, it's IDSPISPOPD. I think there was some significance for that. I forgot what it was. Anyway, I've been IDDQDing like a mofo. Partly of weird and badly made keyboard mouse configurations and mostly unhoned reflexes. That's another thing, the Doom is very fast paced and it can be punishing as hell. After that few years, I had some more practice with shooters and started playing legit. Also, nowadays, games just don't have cheat codes. Yes, maybe some indie titles having cheat codes as a throwback, but there's very few. Although, fun fact, Arkham City kind of did.
Some of them have unlocks that you you can unlock cheat options later on.
But you really never have new games anymore though, where you do a button combination on the controller.
No, or a console command like the Doom games or whatever. Yeah.
Actually, you know what really blew my mind though? This is a retro game, but I really couldn't believe it. You know how with GoldenEye and the N64, there are a million cheats, but you have to beat this mission on this difficulty in this time to unlock invincibility or stupid stuff like big head mode or whatever. I could not believe that there were actually push button codes for that game to get the various cheats. You can actually do controller combinations to get cheats.
Wow.
That was insane.
Craziness.
Also, we gotta mention the hardest cheat code to ever enter, the Shadows of the Empire.
Oh yeah, the Wampa Stampa code.
You got Wampa Stampa, but you have to hold all these buttons down on your controller in a way that your hands are occupied. And then you have to move the control stick,
but not with your face or something.
Yeah, literally. And the thing was, it's not all the way in one direction. It's a little to the left, then a little to the right, then a little to the left.
Or do it with your chin or something.
Yeah, I did it with my chin. Yeah. And it's so hard because how do I know I'm doing it horizontally and not far enough? It's so hard.
It's hard.
You hear a sound when you do it right, but
it's like a Chewbacca.
No. I think it was to get the challenge point sound that.
Oh, okay.
But it's just give me a break, dude. And the funny thing is, on a hard mode, your unlock is that Wampas fight on your side. But there's only 2 areas in the whole game with Wampas. It's more just amusing.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Dracologist. There's the cheats used in RTS games where the AI clearly has an undisclosed advantage. Yeah. I still remember a lot of Warcraft 2's codes because they were pop culture references, some of which I didn't realize, like Star Trek, Make It So. I had no idea that was a Star Trek thing because I never watched Star Trek.
Sure.
It is a good day to die, stuff like that. Okay, in honesty, Made in Abyss, that anime I mentioned, takes the easy path of uncomfortable by doing horrible things to children. That is true. The main characters are kids.
Yeah.
So when bad things happen to the kid. But still, though, even if they happen to an adult, that shit is, some of the, again, the thing with the poison in the hand, that was really hard to watch. That was a rough sit, man. I was squirming the whole time. Also, speaking of anime and stuff, I just remembered why I've fallen in love with Thunderbolt Fantasy, and to my pleasure, a new movie came out for it. The answer to the weekly question. Hint, this is how I found Lotus's YouTube channel. Also, there was Garage Nightmare Simulator. I am unfamiliar
I don't know about that one at all.
Alright, so the fan question is from Dragon Ace. Recently, the Oxbox team were asked if you could only save one game from the last decade to put in the Ark to survive the apocalypse. What would it be? I'll let you guys choose two because there's 2 of you. I, Dragon Ace, instantly chose Deus Ex Human Revolution with a very close runner-up, being Dust and Elysian Tale. If we're talking Deus Ex, I would go with the original one, hands down. But the number 1 game to save in the whole decade, I might go with a game I don't even like quite as much. That's just more iconic.
Yeah.
And has lasting appeal, like Minecraft. I've never played Minecraft in my life,
sure.
But you know what I mean. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say something that has a lot more playability than the other games. like Enter the Gungeon is like a good pick for this kind of thing. Because,
Isaac, just do runs.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're infinitely fun. Whereas like a lot of the games that I really really love have like
you've done everything.
Concrete endings. There's
over.
Not much else to squeeze out of it. So,
yeah.
Other than going through the motions again if you want to. So. I would pick something like Enter the Gungeon or something like that.
Yeah, where you're able to just pop in, do a run, see what happens. Even if you've gotten all the achievements, just for fun, just do runs. Like, that's the appeal of those things anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's pretty much it for this week from me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we want to thank all of our fans that contributed questions. A lot of really great comments this time around, guys.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for your input. And for the question.
Please keep us supplied with awesome topics by submitting questions of your own on the YouTube and SoundCloud pages. While there, please give us thumbs ups, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes. It helps promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement helps keep the show going. You can also catch us on Tuesdays for our sister podcast, Reactive Consciousness, the in-depth look at this week in our lives. Finally, you can find me as vysethebold on pretty much everything.
And you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you are interested in seeing my videos early, getting in on exclusive live streams, selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play, or getting involved in conversations with me and other patrons on Discord, then perhaps consider swinging by my Patreon account, which can be found at patreon.com/Lotus Prince. And also, we are maybe halfway through GDQ right now, but that means we still have another half to go. Have fun.
All right, well, we'll catch you for another episode of Reactive on Tuesday. See ya.
Until next time, everyone.
Bye-bye.